Thank you for tuning into BQ Prime. I'm your host Vikas Shrivastava. Today we have with us the CEO and MD of IntelliSmart. It's a joint venture between NIIF and EESL. The two have come together for rollout of smart meters across the country, and the two have taken a very strong step as far as financing of these smart meters as well as deployment of these smart meters in the country in the last 2 years is concerned. We have with us Mr. Anil Rawal, who is the MD and CEO, to talk to us about the current status of this program as well as their deployment of smart meters in the last 2 years, what's the current status and the challenges that the segment is facing right now. Welcome to BQ Prime, Mr. Rawal.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Vikas.
I would like to start with the current status of this program right now, because lots happening right now in this segment. So how far since we last met, you told us that almost 25 million smart meters you had deployed by then. So what is the current status on that, and also how do you see the current status as far as the country is concerned and the rollout of smart meters is concerned?
Sure, Vikas. So as I said, thanks a lot for having me first of all. And on the smart metering side, let's understand the context for a minute. Distribution sector as such has its own issues, as we understand, in terms of financial and systemic efficiencies. And smart metering is supposed to do the intervention at digital level, at consumer end, and solve these issues to large extent, because the losses we have, majority of the losses come from the billing and collection. And smart metering is a solution which would be actually trying and circumventing the interface at the ground level in terms of people trying and collecting or say serving, or rather it will be digital method. It's a very strong digital solution which is a intervention on that level. That's the first thing. And further to that, where do we stand in terms of two things? You said, where do we stand as IntelliSmart and where do we stand as country on the smart metering? So I'll take second as first. I think we as nation has moved very strongly on smart metering program. Standard bidding document, which was required as a key document for competitive bidding on smart metering, has already been settled now. All the distribution companies across the nation have adopted it. Bidding is full swing. More than about 8 crore meters have already been tendered out, bid out, and various participants have participated. And significantly large quantum, about more than 3 crore, has been either awarded or L1s have been declared. Rest are at different stages of procurement, I would say, by the utilities. So it has been very strong process, participated extremely well with a healthy participation by various companies for smart metering. As far as rollout is concerned, IntelliSmart has been on the front in terms of having its parent company EESL, Energy Efficiency Services Limited, which you also referred, as part of the story, because they had certain orders with them which were based on the erstwhile contracts with various distribution companies where we are supposed to execute. So that program is on. That's where about more than 3 million have been executed. And in addition to that, IntelliSmart got its own projects also on its balance sheet. First was country's first RDSS project was in Assam, which was bid out competitively and we secured through competitive bidding. That project has also crossed more than 50% of the mark now and is on very healthy pace moving forward. Has seen very good results there. So about more than 3 lakh have been executed there also. So total ESL and us together have done more than about 38 lakh meters already on the ground. In addition to that, since Assam, as it was the first project of the country and was run by us and being executed, we have been able to secure about more than 1.6 crore meter tenders across various states in the country through competitive bidding. Some of them have been awarded also, some of them are in the process of awarding. And so rollout is going to start very soon in Gujarat as well as in Uttar Pradesh. So that's where we stand. And along with us, there are several companies who have participated in this through competitive bidding method, have secured projects. So as I said, about 3 crore meters or even more than them have been awarded. If not awarded, L1s have been declared and are in a process of award. Rest about 4.5 crore meters are at different level of tendering, and some more are expected. So I would think we may end up in first phase about in the country at 12 to 13 crore meters being participated by different participants and being executed in short time, whatever is been granted as time frame under the bidding documents. That's where the whole program stands.
Right. So, since you have already shared a lot of data, I have also looked at NSG, this mission, National Smart Grid Mission website, and from there I got to know that only around 66 lakh meters have been deployed till now or executed. So, what could be the reason? Because and also the timeline is 25 or 25 crore meters. So, do you think that the pace is good enough, and also the standard bidding document model that was started, so do you think that is supporting the entire process of the mission?
Sure. So, because the data you quoted is also right, but then let's understand the 66 lakh meter which you are saying were done in the erstwhile process. They were not done under this renewed process, a renewed push of Government of India, which is under this standard bidding document and under RDSS program. So the process was slow because award was also slow. There were not many parties who were participating, and it was limited to few states. Now, because the structure has been done up in a very nice way, there is a good bidding document. The risk framework is extremely well placed. Participation from various utilities and discoms in allocating tenders is really large. Competition is good. Various participants are coming, so you can the program to run in various states at hundreds of places. In that case, the multiplicity and replication would lead to the large rollout, and that's where you can expect that program can see a good success once the execution starts on ground in full swing.
Yeah, so do you think that next 1.5 years would be good enough, or we might need some extension in the target?
So total time frame provided under the standard bidding documents is about 27 months for execution. Yeah, from the date of signing of agreement, which is reasonable time, I would say, for individual projects. So and then about 9 years is the O&M time. So I think time frame wise it is in shape. No worries. I don't see any worry around that.
Okay, just for our audience, what is the kind of incentive that is provided by the government under this standard bidding document compared to what it was earlier? Has there been some shift in that, and whether participation from discoms has increased after that?
So yes, there are 2-3 things which I would like to highlight here. One is central government's commitment on smart metering under RDSS program has come up in the sense that government is giving a grant of or a contribution of 900 rupees per meter to the utility on commissioning of the asset, which has to be passed on to the AMISP, means smart metering service provider, whoever is selected there, right? That's one thing, which is a reasonable commitment from government side. Second, I would say is there some incentive if you commission in time in some cases for the AMISP. So these are the two push. But what I would think is third thing is a very good structure of risk reward framework in the standard bidding document, which attracts the AMISPs as well as utilities and balances the risk on both sides, which actually has attracted utilities also to come forward and significant amount of competition also.
Okay. And you spoke last time about, and also it's there, as far as the financing model is concerned, that TOTEX under DB foot model, So how effective has that been as far as financing of these projects are concerned? And also if you can talk a little bit about in terms of, how the developers are benefited out of it.
Right. So TOTEX model has proven to be game changer, frankly, in this case. Why so? Because TOTEX model assumes not complete risk being transferred to the AMISP. in the sense of the complete capex. So some amount of capex is being returned. So these PPP projects really work in a model that the investor, or say the bidder, invests into the projects, executes them, commissions them, and then charges their revenue per meter per month when the whole project is commissioned. So that creates reasonable amount of risk on the investor, or say AMISP. Now Totex assume that some amount of money would be ensured to be paid when the project gets commissioned. That's what 900 rupees I said. Rest of the money gets recovered per meter per month over next 8 or 9 years. So that, I know, somehow to some extent reduces the risk and pays upfront. That mixes it capex with the opex, and that is the Totex model, and that has given some amount of push to the investors or AMISPs to come forward and be ready to invest. And because this money comes from the central government, discoms are also okay to pay, so that allows them also to have lesser of the load on the consumer as well as on their own exchequer. So that way it balances out both parties.
Mhm. So last time you told me that it's per month, per meter basis, and also pay as they say from the discom side. So something around 225 rupees per meter per month is what you had suggested. So has there been any change in that after government's incentives?
So that, Vikas, is something calculation which is based on the data where the earlier projects were commissioned. Because new projects yet to be commissioned, the data would flow once new projects get commissioned. We could probably analyze, and I'm sure data would be even better. More and more critical mass is generated around smart metering. Saving in terms of losses would be significantly increasing, and that data came from the earlier rollout of the assets wherever they were. And I'm confident that once even the scale rises, the reduction of losses on the discoms would be significant, and that will make them healthier, which will allow them to invest into infra also and the better services to the consumer.
So that would mean that this tariff per meter would go up also?
Necessarily not. If we go by the hypothesis, which is the base of the program, that these meters actually create saving, or if not saving exactly in right words, a reduction of the losses. The losses are so huge now, which obviously impact and load on the ultimately on the consumer in terms of recovery. If you can really save the losses, which is the base premise of the smart meters, then I don't think there should be any further load on the consumer on this. Rather, it should ease them out.
Right. So given the kind of potential that is there in front of you, what is the kind of investments you have already made, and what's the kind of investments required? What's also you are looking in terms of deployment for IntelliSmart, say next 2 years time?
Sure. So as I said that we have already secured projects of about 1.7 crore meters, which are on the IntelliSmart balance sheet, and we are still actively participating in bids, and we continue to do our best in terms of take more share in the market as the market further comes up. So the journey is still on, and with 1.7 crore meters, the equity requirements from the both promoters are already in place. We are already in touch with the lenders, and we are getting very, very good response from lenders in terms of financing these projects. So these are typical project finance projects, and by proving this that we can do the financial closure for these projects in earlier project in Assam, we have shown that not only we can do the financial closure, we can invest our equity, we can deliver. We have already delivered more than 3 lakh meters there, and which are running with very good efficiency and creating a reasonable amount of positive efficiencies in terms of financial and operations for the discom. And we are committed to go all the way to whatever extent we can go in shouldering this responsibility of delivering the smart metering program.
Right. No, just two additional questions to it. One, if you can give the value of 1.78 crore meters that you said that you will be installing. And second, first if you can answer this, then we can take it.
Normally the this will be variable from project to project, because my projects are in two projects in Gujarat, one project in UP, two projects in Assam, and one project in Bihar. So this will vary on project to project, and because there are different kind of meters at different places. But overall, the life cycle cost, I'm talking the life cycle cost, which actually means all O&M also for 8-9 years, and capex and everything, opex combined together, runs in the range of 8 to 1,000 rupees per meter. So that basically means this asset comes to something like 1 point, or rather 15,000 to 17,000 crore rupees of assets could be there, depending upon the situation and location of the assets.
Right. And you said most of these states which you have named are the states where the losses were very high. I mean, barring Gujarat. So, do you think that the participation is higher from such states where they had been looking for efficiency in collection of collections, basically?
Yeah, so that's obvious because if Discom has a high rating, they attract more investors. This is very obvious because the risk perception is lower. And that's why the variations could also come from state to state, Discom to Discom in terms of pricing, even if they're discovered through competitive bidding. And investors will be more attracted toward more healthier Discoms. But that's for sure that program is running now across all states. And if you see that almost all states have got a good response, obviously with variable range. Some of the states which are rated higher are getting a bit higher response, but response has been reasonably good across all states because of the structuring of the program.
Mm-hmm. And how many more states you are looking at? I mean, are there other states? How many states are coming out with tenders?
Yeah, so currently about 6 more states tenders are on, including say some are in Chhattisgarh, Punjab, there are in Tamil Nadu, there are Goa, and some other states are also on. And we are keenly watching. Even UP has more projects which are on the anvil. So Rajasthan has projects. So some more projects are coming up. So we are keenly watching the whole arena, and we would be keenly participating in almost all.
Right. One last question from my side. Especially, we have come to understand that IntelliSmart is using a lot of advanced analytics, and so just wanted to understand what will be the capability and potential as far as this advanced analytics usage in changing the overall power distribution ecosystem is concerned.
So that's an extremely good question because, frankly, smart metering is not only about measuring electricity, which is entering into our house and billing us. This is just base work. We are doing the basics by doing that. And smart metering, if by any means ends up doing this, we have really achieved not the right result. Right result of smart metering is that we would be able to not only measure electricity, bill customers well, give them the quality services, have the data, how customers are consuming the energy, do the energy accounting, use this data for providing value-added services in terms of giving them the comfort of, say, switching on and off at their will, giving them time of the day tariffs, all these innovations which lead to the smart grid would be only materialized once you have the smart meters in place, and that would actually lead to the better renewable integration, because renewables are coming in a big way in the country, which is the net zero commitment of the country. And if renewables have to come up in a big way, there has to be demand side management done properly, and smart meters and smart grid form the base of demand side management. So that's where we are working a lot with some of our partners. We have some partners who are working. We have already done some of the pilots in some of the discoms to see what further value we can add to the distribution companies in terms of their financials, in terms of their better efficiency, and using this data by doing data analytics. So the 2 pilots have been extremely successful. We are in talk with some of the discoms to come up with tenders on this line and allow participants to come and play on this area also, so that we don't end up doing smart meter only for the sake of measuring electricity, and add significant value to the discoms on data analytics and AI also.
Okay. And one last question on this basic difference, if you can explain it to our audience, between a prepaid meter and a smart meter, because a lot of societies have also installed prepaid meters, which later they had withdrawn. So,
Yeah.
what's the basic difference between them?
Certainly. So prepaid meter, because is all about you being able to charge the meter and use the electricity. It has nothing to do with data being sent to grid, or data being captured anywhere, or any data available in terms of the central repository. That's what I said about data. Unless you have the data, you don't know who is consuming how much, and you cannot manage grid. Prepaid meter could be a small patchy solution for certain societies only, where it has where there could be a large meter outside the society which can communicate the complete data of all these meters to the main grid. So if you want to be on main grid and at real time data, which is base of smart grid, then only prepaid meter may not be enough. You may have to have smart meter which communicates data both ways. It actually captures data from your solar rooftop, how much energy you are pushing into the grid, how much energy you're using from the grid. So then it can do net off, and it can add this data to the grid and work out that how much energy is being consumed by different consumers. So this is a central grid management which can only happen through smart metering, and prepaid metering is only limited to some of the patches which can actually be solved locally for that particular area.
Right, right. Thank you very much, Mr. Rawal. It was pleasure connecting to you once again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Vikas, and pleasure here also. Thank you.